wait, we're moving, guys, we're moving. Okay, let's talk about PSG. Now, this is wild. So I was focusing on the two games. So I was obviously focusing on the United game that I had on my tablet, and obviously on the big screen I had the Juventus against Barcelona. And then I'm just seeing, because obviously I started to check my notifications. I'm just seeing people tweet me. It's like linking me to something. I was like, "Hey, what's this?" So, oh, PSG thingy has been so like a guy's been sent off. I was like, what? So they say Pierre Webo has been sent off. I was like, what is it? But then as I'm learning more and more and more, they said, oh no, it's this is happening, this is happening. And then there's this video that's going viral because Demba Ba is obviously the top trend on Twitter right now. Because obviously the thing was apparently this Romanian fourth official referred to him as that black guy. We don't know the fullness, and I think we'll definitely get the fullness of what's happened. Under what context did it happen, and so forth. But obviously, the video going viral is where Demba Ba is going straight up to this guy's face and saying, your reference, why don't you say that's white guy? Why do you say that's black guy? Why you refer me to as that black guy? Then they say, no, this is like a change in translation. So where we are, so then they then went into the dressing room because they all walked off. And I think it was really the Istanbul guys who walked off first, and then the PSG guys followed, similar to what happened in a preseason game for AC Milan when Kevin Prince Boateng walked off and they also walked off. So the position we're in right now is the game is going to be played in the early kickoff on Wednesday. So I've just checked Google right now, and yeah, it is basically scheduled for Wednesday in the early kickoff, man. So you see, it's difficult to talk about this because we don't have all the details, because this is similar to it's similar to the situation that happened with Neymar and that dude from PSG. So obviously we can see here, look, 5:55 tomorrow. So it's similar to the situation that we had with Neymar and that dude from Marseille, where the guy was found to be innocent, but then with Evra, it was a whole different ball of wax. But I think the key thing here is the reaction. Is the reaction from the players. Is that, also as well, to add, someone also referenced me that there was a thing with Tuchel where Tuchel was basically saying to the to one of the players from Istanbul that, wait a minute, so did you hear it? But the guy said, well, he heard it, and I'm going to ride with my teammates. But Tuchel, well, if you didn't hear it, but my thing for Tuchel is that why would you go to not believing the player who feels he's been racially abused? You know, so, and as you can see from the exchange that they have, he says, look, why would you refer to him as that black guy? So this is a tricky one. Hence why I just wanted to see where people's thoughts are, because where I am with it is I don't know the full story. And in anything, I need to know the full story. I'm one of those guys where I'm not a reactionary guy of like, I'm like, what, how was it said? In what context was it said? What was involved for him to say? Why did he say it? Was this a thing of a change in translation? But I always go to the reaction. Like Patrice Evra's reaction to Suarez, and obviously Demba Ba's reaction to him. So judging by his reaction, he obviously said it in a way that Demba Ba did not like. So it's one of those things that, and I've always said this about people, that you can't solve racism in society. That's not happening. You can solve it in a football stadium. You can be very harsh and cutthroat in solving it within the confines of a stadium if everybody is pulling together and have a zero tolerance. Because once you have a zero tolerance for it, then there's no leeway. Now, once you leave the stadium, bro, you can do whatever the heck you want. It's a free world. But within this stadium and in a sport that preaches no to racism, F racism, you have to have zero tolerance. So let me come first to Stodge with this. So Stodge, from what you know, information that we've received, where do you stand on this whole thing?
All right. So from what I know, so the guy is Romanian, confirm that. But this is what I know. I know the refereeing rules. Now, when a referee is officiating a game and they're not from that particular country, and I'm pretty sure neither side was from Romanian, it's in the rules. He has to officiate in English. That's the rule. Why is he officiating? Why is he talking to Romanian? You might as well talk gibberish. No one understands you. And that's what I mean. It's a cop-out. It's a cop-out, HH. The guy did it on purpose. Now, when he's talking to Romanian...
Explain. What do you mean by cop-out? Explain.
It's a cop-out. It's like, it's sort of, because in the rules, he should already be speaking English. If you're going to address the guy, speak in a language he understands. Don't just call him the N-word and then 5 seconds later go, no. It's my language. He doesn't understand your language. You know he doesn't understand your language. So why even mention it? And the second point is...
So basically, he said, because I just looked at it, because basically he used the word Negru, which means black in Romanian. So
why is he speaking Romanian? Who's this? That's what I mean. Who's he speaking to Romanian to? The guy is not Romanian.
You still say his name. You say his name. You don't have to call him black guy.
You don't have to call him black guy.
Yeah, he doesn't have
to call him black guy.
Exactly. And secondly, his vocabulary is so limited that the only word he could come up with is that. You can't say guy, you can't say sir. There's no other languages. Apparently, there's no other words in his languages. He's just making an excuse. And this is much worse than Suarez, because Suarez players can speak in whatever language. I'm telling you now, the referee, he had to speak in English for that game. And why he's speaking Romanian and he's using that word, it's funny because is there any other evidence of this guy speaking Romanian? Suddenly, when he tries to address this guy, he just switches languages. It doesn't make sense, HH. He's done it on purpose. He's a racist.
Yeah.
And it's just using this as an excuse. And were the players right to get off? Yeah, I guess so. I mean, if they want to, I'm not. Well, I don't want to get political in it, but if this is what they stand for and they do,
go. I mean, go. What? I mean, where are you going with it? As in, you don't feel that players walking off does anything really? It doesn't really push the needle. You're sort of against doing that. I mean, where are you?
Yeah. Look, the society you live in, you need to know what rules something, and what rules it is capital, it's economics, it's finances. Now, unless these players decide for a couple of weeks, just like in the COVID case where they really got desperate, they were like, F it if lives die, we have to bring the football back. Now, if you want to make real change, you have to hurt people economically, and that's the only way they're going to do it. These going off and then UEFA coming in, and then this debate about when the game starts, and then there's people actually turning on both PSG players and the Romanian players because the game is not being played on time. It's just UEFA doesn't really care unless you damage them economically. They're not going to do much. That's if you look at every single change that has happened, even in football. The reason why players are paid so well today and they're no longer used is because there was a football strike.
Yo, HH, by the way, someone needs to ban that guy that's called P's and Q's in the chat.
Okay, no. I've got him, Dory. I've got him.
Bloody hell, man.
But Storch, round off your points and then I'll come to you.
Yeah, what I'm saying is these walk-offs, these players getting angry. What has it changed? It continues. The first time I saw it might have been Eto'o, I believe, when he was playing for Barcelona. I remember that vividly.
Yes. Well, like Ronaldinho tried to sort of like calm him down.
Exactly, and not that much has changed. So they need to, if these players, if they stand up for it, if they want to make a change, you need to impact people economically, and that's what they got to do. Okay. And they can't choke. They can't choke like the NBA players did. I remember the NBA players. Well, that COVID, yeah. So they have.
Okay, what's it called, Natsa? Where are you at with this whole thing?
I understand that he's saying, I don't know, he's saying black in Romanian, but correct me if I'm wrong, is it in freaking, what's it called, in Spanish, they still use the same word that is a slur in English for saying black. I don't want to say the word, but no, I don't understand.
No, but you see, Natsa, because I learned Spanish in school. And I remember when I first started, I was like, oh my gosh, that's rude, but it's like, no, that's what, remember, Spain is much older than America, you know? So that word just is the word for black in Spanish. But Americans then turned the word into something different and harsher. But that word is like, noir is black in French. The other thing is white in French. So
I understand what you mean. But when I know, but when that's why I would never go to a Spanish country, because I already know they're gonna be like, if they're trying to refer to me, they're gonna say black.
Yeah.
So I would never go to a Spanish country, but I just mean, like, shouldn't the world evolve? Let's be honest. There's people that get offended by this kind of stuff because it's in the history. It's before even America. This word was used. Okay, it was before even America. This word was used as a slur in Latin. Okay, so And even when people are saying, okay, this I can give a benefit of doubt if it was a normal guy, Romanian guy, because I can give a benefit of doubt. But this guy's official. He has a no to racism in his badge next to his shirt. It says no to racism, and he has the ignorance to still use the same.
It's Nancy, you've hit on the key points. You see, hence why I put out that tweet because okay, opposing player, it is what it is. You're in competition, blah blah. Fans, again, we have the issue. Once it's now the match officials, because these are the custodians of the sports. These are the guys who sort of keep the sports industry. These are the guys who you report to if there are any racist things happening. Hence why we've had situations where a player has gone to a match official say, "Oh, there's racism," and the match official does nothing. You know, because the match officials are like, "Screw your racist thing. This is about finishing the game and carrying on the game." So yeah, that's good.
Hey, I wanted to say one more thing as well. With the players that left the pitch, I don't know. I don't want to judge people because there's no point of judging people like that. But I can never know what the real intention was. But I want to see people when the matches mean something because Istanbul already out. Let's be honest, Istanbul were really out. But even in like an Italian game or a Spanish game, when it means something, would the players go out? That's what I want to know. Would the Istanbul players go out if they actually were able to qualify and it wasn't at risk of the qualification? That's what I want to know. I can never know the intentions. 100%. I can never know the intentions. So I cannot judge it like that. But I just want to know.
Which is why
the PSG players didn't leave, but the Istanbul players left. You have to think about that as well. They left after the fact. Let's be honest.
So for me, I always said like the most powerful thing to do is you've got to bring the game into disrepute. Because the whole thing of like, oh no, keep playing on, it's part of the game, is bullcrap. No, you can't accept this. Do you think LeBron James or Kawhi Leonard are going to accept themselves being called racist things by a match official or fans and they just play on? Heck no, they'll be like, nah, that's not happening. So why should football be more accepting? And this is the global sport this is the world sport. So
exactly. It's football. Football's the biggest sport ever. And Studge hit a key point. If you don't hurt the pockets, which is a very sad thing, it shouldn't be like that. If you don't hurt the pockets, they won't do anything. So all you have to do is grow some balls and do the right thing. Because I'm 100% sure if it was Neymar, I don't know if it was Neymar down there, because he didn't leave the pitch when that guy was racially slurring him. He should have done the same thing when that happened against that guy. I forgot what the name was. So I want to see it happen in the big games where actually a lot of people are watching. This game was really irrelevant right now. When big people are watching, a lot of people are watching, make a statement back then. Because really it won't matter. This game was nothing. It was a nothing game. And people were not really watching it, so.
Okay, so before I come to more, let me just do so from Sam Joey, thanks for the dub. It says people don't say European American, they say African American, Asian American, etc. These are rooted in biases and subliminal delegitimization terms. You see, that's for me, it's in terms of if you're an ethnic minority, and I just think that this is a world obviously ruled by the European Caucasian. So you've been called African American because you are denoted of an ethnic minority into the country. For instance, a white guy in Nigeria is called Oyibo. That's just how we refer to them. And it's not really in a slur. It's because they are a minority in Nigeria, which is mostly black. So we just look at them, Oyibo, and that's it. So I don't think there's nothing racial. So from Andrew Lawrence, is just a thought. Is it racist to call someone what they are, black, white, Asian, if it's not in a discriminatory way? I'm not being racist, by the way. Oh, no, that's a great question. Now, if someone says, that's black guy, that's black dude, why can't you just call me that dude? That's the whole point. It's like, for me, I would never refer to something, yo, that's yellow guy, that's Chinese dude. You see, saying that's Chinese dude or that thingy dude is probably better than just saying that's a yellow dude. But saying that's black guy, for me, that is just sort of being dismissive of who you are as a person. And look, it's that black guy over there. It's dismissive. It's dismissive. So, but hence why you may want to know what kind of context was it in. But the key thing is, why was Demba Ba angry about it? Hence why maybe if we now see in the way he said it, the manner that he said it in, is what's really riled Demba Ba up. As people have said, his name is at the back of his shirts. He does have a name. If you don't know his name, say number 8, number 9. whenever a referee is trying to refer to someone and he doesn't see their name, he takes down their number. So you have the name, you have their number, or hey, the striker over there, that's black guy. I mean, come on. Mo, what do you say with this whole thing?
A referee using this word in a game would be the equivalent of if a judge called a lawyer the N-word in a courtroom.
Oh, yeah.
Just can't be stood for. You're in there. A referee's job is to keep order in the game. If we don't have a referee, people are going to be fouling each other. People are going to be scoring offside goals, whatever. So a referee's job is to keep the order, not to create disruption in the game. So that on its own, the fact that the referee put himself in that position to begin with, that shouldn't happen, regardless of what his intention was. He shouldn't even be putting himself in that position. Now, when you look at the question of, is it okay to call someone black guy? Look, I'm Arab and I study in Canada. I'm at university in Canada. If I'm walking on campus and someone calls me like, hey, Arab guy, come here, I'm not going to answer. I'm going to keep walking.
100%.
You can say, excuse me. You can say, or if you're talking about me, you can point at me and say, this guy. But just saying that Arab guy or an Arab guy, like it's not the way the world works.
No. I mean, so just pause it. So happy you brought that up. If, as a black man, I'm so glad that you brought that point up. If, as a black guy, someone says, "Hey, yo, black guy," and you answer, you're a loser who has no respect for yourself. If you are a guy from Arabic origin and someone says, "Hey, yo, Arab man," and you answer, you have no respect for yourself. You have no respect for yourself if someone refers to, "Hey, yo, Arab guy," "Hey, yo, black guy," and you answer and you come. And people say, see, if I say, "Yo, white guy," white people are the dominant race. So someone being called white guy, they can't be offended because of the dynamics of the world that we live in. So don't use the whole reverse racism crap on me, because that's crap. But more, continue more.
When we look at the situation now, I'm not sure, because what I heard was that he used it to refer to Istanbul's assistant coach, right?
And Pierre Webo. That's what they see.
No. More, the issue was the referee. I think he booked the player, so he wanted to refer to a player like point to the player was like that black guy. So Demba Ba was angry of telling him that, why are you calling me black guy? Instead of, he said, if me as a player can call you a white man, are you gonna accept it? The referee was saying no. Then why are you calling me a black guy? That was the question Demba Ba was asking the referee. He could not give him a reply.
I think that makes sense, because Pierre Webo was the guy who was sort of arguing with the dude. So I think Demba Ba was obviously talking in reference to Pierre Webo, saying, why are you referring to Pierre Webo as that black guy?
Yeah, because I even saw a clip, the assistant coach of Istanbul. What did you say his name was? Sorry?
Pierre Webo.
Yeah, he was saying, why are you calling me N-word? So I think it was directed at the assistant coach.
So the referee was like, it was a Romanian language, but then Baba was like, a Romanian language, you cannot call us a black guy because you know he's a black. So why you find him as a black? And the referee could not give a response.
Okay, so more fish point.
And so the ref basically was saying, it's telling the referee that he should book the assistant referee, and he said, come book this N guy. So like I said, he shouldn't be putting himself in that position. To me, the main referee should have, like, as soon as he heard what happened, he should have asked the fourth referee to leave. I think that's what he should have done, because keeping him on the pitch is just adding fuel to the fire. In terms of players walking off, I fully support it, because look what happened. This racial slur was used. Players walked off. Now we're talking about it. Now everyone is talking about it. If they continued the game, we would be talking about the score right now. We would be talking about PSG topping the group or getting second. We wouldn't be talking about that. It just would have been another incident, and people would have moved on in a second. So the fact that the players walked off is the reason that everyone is having this discussion now. So I fully applaud that, and I fully support that. And I even support, because after they walked off, Istanbul were like, we're not coming back to the pitch. PSG could have said, we're going to come back, we're ready to come back, and they would have taken a 3-0 victory. But they were like, we're not coming back.
PSG said they won't come back if Istanbul doesn't come back to play that.
Wait. But I think a very good point was, I don't know whether it was Nasser or Stodge. So Mo, if something was at stake, Istanbul could still qualify. do you still think they walk off the pitch?
I do. I honestly do. Yeah, because if you see, they were actually mad. You could tell how mad they were. It wasn't just like. So I think they would have walked out. Because I think in a situation like this, excuse my language, fuck football. It's another. At the end of the day, it's a human being being treated that way. So I don't think the priority is football anymore.
Okay, that's fair. Okay, so let me come to Ben with this, man. Ben, thoughts on this whole situation, man?
Well, well, it's crazy, man. It's crazy. Where I am in the world, Nigeria. You don't really, or we are not. We don't really, what do you call it now? Experience racism like that. But then, there are other forms of stuff like that. Maybe like tribalism or HHIO from Nigeria. So
ethnocentrism in Nigeria.
Yeah. So you still experience something like that where people just have a certain biases, or what's the word? People just, the world is just a very crazy place. Yeah, it's just a crazy place. Like, so the only thing, the thing is when vicious world.
Okay, let me phrase this. So if someone because I think this is what people have said, and I've just been looking at the dialogue. So people say, wait, that black guy isn't offensive. It's just referring to you who is black, and why is the word black, white there? So why is that offensive? So Ben, if let's say someone referred to you, if let's say a white guy referred to you as that black guy, would you take offense to that or not?
Sure, it depends. Now this is it. For example, I would use my where I am in Nigeria here. Some Hausas are referred to as aboki. But now, aboki means my friend. But aboki also, because of the way it's been used for years and years and years, it's used as to stigmatize, to talk about poor Hausas, or talk about particularly cobblers Hausas. So just calling anybody aboki, they can really get angry. And you may mean my friend. Like I did it once. I thought, okay, because I learned that I went to North once and I learned that aboki means my friend and all that. So I said it to somebody when I came back to FCT Abuja. So I said it to a normal northerner. I said that, and they were really offended. Like, you can't say that. So that's it. You have to understand people. You have to understand that this is not accepted. Do you understand? It's not accepted. It's because of where people are coming from. Yeah. So if blacks have been, we know the history of what has happened, particularly the whole history of racism and all of that. So you can't, particularly, and also with the way they say this. You understand? The actions that follow as well. The actions that follow is not just what they say. The actions that follow, the way they look at you. You just get the vibe. Sometimes some things are not. It's not black and white. You just know somehow. Yeah.
But I think what it is, this takes me back to the whole Cavani Suarez thing, Negrito, because for a Cavani in Uruguay, it's acceptable because Uruguay have issues and they have problems. Hence why there are hardly any black people that live in Uruguay. Hence why the wasn't a Negrito may be fine there because they think so lowly of blacks in that country. But now once now leave Uruguay, now come to the Western world and then I use that, guys are like, oh, this is all right where we are, but it's not all right where we are. So it's a question of what the hell goes on in Eastern Europe? What the hell goes on in Romania?
Crazy there,
in
Exactly.
Russia,
If you're saying
in Uruguay.
If you're saying that black guy so freely right now, just imagine what he says at home.
That basically the whole point is that I've always said with that I want nothing to. I would never live in Eastern Europe as a black guy, never. Hence why shout out to all of my black, especially Nigerians who are living in Russia, all these kinds of places in Eastern Europe. But my thing about it is that what this should show is you have to now readdress the words that you're using in Romania, in Macedonia,
Bulgaria,
oh my God.
Bulgaria is the worst, bro. I don't know.
So
Albania? Oh no.
So that's what. Okay. So sorry, Ben. Run the point.
Yeah. So basically, the thing is, racism is deep in society. But like football, particularly officials, you should do better. That's just it. You should do better, and that just tells us that most of these people are still human beings, and even the people who are supposed to make to enforce the penalties, they also, you still have racists there. You still do. Because if a ref is supposed to enforce this thing, let's say a player is being racist or a coach is being racist, the ref is supposed to enforce the laws there. But now we're talking about the refs. Come on, it's sad.
Okay. Let me bring in your boy Undisputed. So Undisputed, thoughts on this whole PSG Istanbul fiasco, man.
I'm really baffled. I've never actually, in all of the times I've heard of, racism in football, right? It's usually fans on players. Sometimes it's players on players, like
Yes.
Suarez. I've never heard of a referee. This is completely new to. I can't think of another case like this, and it's completely baffling how someone in a position of power, who's supposedly being selected as one of the best in Europe, apparently, can act like this. And there's no reason to, like, even if he didn't mean it, there's no reason to refer to someone like that. A player's number, their name, as he said. There's a million other ways you could refer to that person. So I don't think it's excusable at all. As for the game, wait, will there be a rematch now, or will
No, they are playing tomorrow.
Oh, okay, I see.
In the early kickoff tomorrow. It's already been
They'll
scheduled.
start from the 14th minute.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah.
So,
will it be the same referees?
You should read Andrew's comment.
No, they said they're gonna change the referees.
You should read Andrew's comment.
Andrews.
Andrew.
HH is being discriminatory to Eastern Europeans. How so?
Makes no sense. No sense.
No. All I've said is that I have a lot of experience with Eastern Europeans. I've met a lot of Eastern Europeans. I know a lot about what happens in Eastern Europe, and there is a massive racism towards black people in Eastern Europe. Hence why, if you're black, I would not recommend you to go to Eastern Europe. See, like, Czech Republic is okay if you're talking about Montenegro, talking about Bulgaria, talking about Macedonia, Serbia. My gosh, man, like, these guys are still living in the medieval ages. These guys, they view blacks as just the lowest of the low. And
we're
that's
not
just
talking
fact.
about Eastern Europeans as people, more the culture, I would say.
No. It's just the culture and where they're like they're still living very much in the past, man. Let me just take a few of these and then I'll come to some of you guys. So from Andrew Ori, HH, why do you hate Latins and Eastern Europeans? I don't hate them. I don't hate anybody. I hate racists. I don't hate anybody. I'm just talking about where people's culture, Eastern European culture, still have a very primitive view towards black people. It is just what it is. And I just think that they are just living way, way far back in the past, because for decades, there's always been racial issues, specifically in that region of Eastern Europe, that has been more prevalent than other places. And the funny thing is this. We hear racist incidents in Eastern Europe. We hear them in Portugal, in Spain, Italy. Where is the country of the Nazis and so forth? Now, there have been. Based on how Germany was presented to me in England, you don't see those many racist incidents or known incidents come from Germany or the Bundesliga. Just interesting points.
And just to step in, like, what HH is trying to say, he's not saying every single Eastern European is racist. He's discussing overall, the culture overall. So you guys are misunderstanding him. It's not like he's saying every single Eastern European is a racist.
Okay, so from
Yeah,
Richard wait. So let me just read this comment, then I'll come to you. So Richard Aina says, "Peep game. Jesus became Kopogobin. His story is written by the victor. If I told you there were blacks throughout Europe before, you'd think I was mad. It's true." What? Wait, where is Europe? Oh, sorry, Europe. If I told you, no, the Moors. I already know about the Moors. I know about the Moors, man. So I already know that history. Europa League is the new Champions League, anyways. Inter Milan, Real, Arsenal, Spurs, and I said, screw the Champions League. Yes, decided no. You see, before I come to you guys, before I'll come to Marvelous. The thing here is this: is that, and this is just the reality. That Romanian guy that said that thing, he has a low estimation of black people. It is what it is. Because I know what that guy is thinking, saying that black guy. Because that region of Eastern Europe view blacks a certain way. I told you I have dealt with Eastern Europeans. I went to school with Eastern Europeans. I know the kind of issues I've had with Eastern Europeans because that region is heavily white. They don't have that much mixing. So therefore, based on the image of the world, they still view blacks in that kind of slavish mentality. Oh, these uncivilized monkey gorillas, bottom of the roll. But if you come to an England, a France, or Germany where blacks have been fully embedded into the culture, you're viewing blacks in a different way because you're working with them, you're seeing them every day, you're going to school with them. If all you see is white, and the image you see of black people are, these are just the hip hop rap guys who are cool, but blacks are just at the bottom. That's black guy, that's black or whatever. So that's how you view it in Romania. But when you now come into Europe and you refer to them as that, guys, like, wait a minute, this ain't Romania or Eastern Europe, bro. You need to sort of be much more respectful to me than you would be if I was on your home turf in Romania. Because if you were in Romania, you're called that black guy, monk, and all those things. Marvelous, talk to me.
Okay, so I was looking through the chat as I was simultaneously here and listening to you guys speak. So I'm going to try my best to remain as objective as possible and not get too emotional and not call certain people in the chat out of their names. But I just wanted to say, Butter Subs, I want you to stop typing and hold your ears open. The word he used was Negru, which means black in Romanian. It's not about the word or what it means. It's about the context in which he used that word. Like Studge pointed out, when you referee a game, you're supposed to speak in English. English is the global language. Why are you speaking in your native Romanian tongue when you know no one else can understand what you're saying? At that, given the context, the historical context, and the tumultuous nature of the word Negru in correlation to black people, why do you think that is the word you should use when addressing a black man? Why do you feel you can do something so comfortably and face no repercussions? That referee is scum, and I hope he loses his job. Now, I'm looking at people in the chat, specifically Romanians. I'm seeing Templi Paul, Popandu Agorno. I'm seeing all of you defend your country. No one is attacking your country. What we're saying is this. There is a racism underbelly that exists within certain cultures, specifically in Eastern Europe. I don't want to sound like an educator, and perhaps this is a conversation that should extend to your second channel, but I will say this briefly. A lot of issues with racism in regards to Eastern Europe is deep-rooted in colorism. I hope you guys are still holding your ears open, specifically Butter Suds, you idiot. It's an issue that is deep-rooted in colorism. They see black people as less than, therefore they feel they can refer to them as such. There are other ways you can address a person without pointing out their skin color as the first identifier. I also wanted to say, Addy Kush, I read your comment saying you've been through a lot in regards to racist abuse. I just wanted to say that we love you. People that are not black, I will implore you, people that are not of African descent, when you hear or you see black people, African-American people, people of African descent talking about racism, your first action should not be to speak. You should wait, listen, comprehend what they're saying, use your brain as a human being, and take into consideration that these are words that have been used to oppress, marginalize, and just downright treat African people inhumane for years. So you should listen first. Listen first before you type your ignorant comments. This is why sometimes I wish I was a mod in here, just so I could counsel some of these fools. I know you guys are laughing in my voice and everyone likes to joke, and I love laughing too, but this is a serious issue.
It is.
These aren't things that should be taken for granted. No one is attacking your country, or we're attacking what these words mean.
I mean, marvelous.
It's just taking fast. Actually,
wait. Let me finish. I don't want to lose my train of thought. The fact that the word Negro still exists in Spanish dialect, Negro still exists in Romanian dialect, stems from ignorance. It's not because these countries don't know. They know, but it's ignorance. It's deep-rooted in their view of black people not being equal to them. It is something that has to change, and unfortunately, it will not change in our lifetime. But what we can do is set the foundation so that in our children's lives, they will hopefully exist in a world where racism does not exist. In
That's never
regards to
happening.
what should be done when racist incidents such as these happen, because I feel like it has to extend far beyond just hurting UEFA or FIFA in their pockets. Teams need to say, we're not submitting a squad. We're not going. We're not playing. These countries where these many incidents have happened and no action was taken, we refuse to participate. It has to be a conversation. So I look in the chat and certain people say things like, why can't there be separation of sport from racism? Why do we have to bring politics into sport and things of that nature? People fail to realize that players, officials, coaches, these people have a life. They're able to participate in said sport because of their life, because of where they're from. That's why they're able to play this way. That's why they're able to talk this way. That's what makes the sport so special. If you take away the life from it, then it lacks meaning. Racism isn't something that should be taken as a joke. It's a serious issue. So when I read people's comments in the chat, I get offended.
Okay, so actually, let me just, because I want to come to the other guys first. Let me just, because I want to say something very quick, but I want to deal with a few comments first. So from, let's see, can someone tell me when the round of 16 will take place? It's going to take place on
Monday.
December 14th. So, John Kenny said Ronaldo has beaten Messi with United, Madrid, Portugal, Juventus. Messi only ever beaten Ronaldo with Barca. But yeah, carry on. Very quickly, because we'll get back to the topic. One player doesn't win a whole game for a team. It's a team sport. Okay.
When has Ronaldo ever beaten Messi?
No, but I'm saying that Messi isn't playing Ronaldo 1v1. It's Juve against Barca, Barca against Real Madrid. It's team against team, manager against manager. Please try and actually have a mature view towards the whole thing. See,
and it's not Messi's fault that he never left Barca.
Okay, so basically, let me just so before I come to Damon and then BDCO, my thing here is that.
Again, I haven't spoken about it, HH.
Oh, sorry, Babla. See, my thing. See, Marvelous is obviously on the right track. Then I think what he said was great. The issue that you have here is people talk about education. We need to do this. I cannot change a racist person's view. I have no time to change a racist person's view. I used to when I was younger. Now I don't, because the sad reality is this: that for some people, they need a feeling of superiority. They need to feel that they are better than, and this is very important that they feel that this black guy is below me. So for specific people in specific regions and so forth, I'm not saying it's all people, but in specific regions, there is a culture that black is the lowest, white is better. So for them, they have to have that feeling of I am better than that. No matter what, no matter how low I am, I can rest easy that I am still better than this black guy. That wherever this black guy is, I'm still better than this black guy. And this just goes by the perception that society has put forth of what black means. Angel is white, good is white, black is evil, black male, black magic, all that kind of stuff. That's why I say white magic, because I want to flip the script, so...
Hey, Judge, can I just... Yeah.
So let me come to Damien with this. Damien, thoughts on this whole PSG Istanbul thing?
Yeah, it's just a whole mess. Yeah, I was very surprised by an official to say that to a colored person. And look, racism will always happen, and we'll always talk about it. It looks like it'll never end, but what we can do as a society is try and make a foundation to at least limit it or try and stop it for our children and generations to come. Yeah, that's all I have to say.
Okay, cool. BDCO, talk to me.
Yeah, HH, I think the thing about racism is it's not only white versus black. I've said this year in and year out. This is a clear indication of what I was saying. It's Spanish versus Africans, it's Asians versus Africans, it's African Americans versus Africans. And something, I get criticized when I keep saying stuff like this, but it's the truth in the matter. I think what needs to happen is that sometimes we need to understand who we are as people. And it's very, very disrespectful. It's very, very disrespectful how the referee put it in that way. And it was on live TV. This is a funny thing. This was on live TV. Everybody was watching it. It was on live TV, and everybody can see a guy who's not white, a guy who's European, is also being racist. And I just hope this is a learning curve for not only, I don't think it's only for Eastern Europeans. I think this is a learning curve for also African Americans. I think it's a learning curve for Asians. I think it's a learning curve for Spanish people. Spanish people are racist, and if you don't know this, I'm giving you a heads up.
Don't generalize though.
No. It's true.
No, but you can't generalize, because like I've known Spanish people who aren't. I've had Spanish friends, people who aren't racist. So you can't just say Spanish people are racist. Full stop.
No.
There are sections of that, but you can't just say that as a general statement. You can't.
Okay, so this is my thing, HH. One thing that you have to know is a Spanish person can look at you and you might not understand the Spanish words that he's saying, but he's talking something bad about you. He's being racist to you. He might not even have to say
Wait, but Bidiko, is this for every single Spanish person?
I think so, yeah. Because sometimes they speak and you don't understand, right? You don't understand what they're saying. So how would you know if they're not
Spanish?
But then Bidiko, then you're just making an assumption. If you don't understand the language, then you just can't tell whether they're singing or not. Is like, for instance, if like I start speaking like Yoruba or I start speaking Pidgin, you can't just assume I'm insulting you unless you know for a fact I'm insulting you. Or a guy who speaks Japanese or Korean, unless you know for a fact.
But HH, the thing is, right? The thing is, he might be speaking his language and he'll be laughing at you. He will be laughing at you.
The referee didn't say that. The referee said
so that's what I'm saying.
Wait. Let me just read this comment, then I've got to come to Abdullahi. So from Dark says that, rewatching the scenes now, Mbappe to head ref, we can't play with this guy, pointing to the fourth official. Istanbul manager to fourth official, we don't want you, we don't accept you, you're a racist. Oh, see, I didn't see that. I didn't see that. But because
before you get to Abdullahi, can I just say one thing?
I'll come to you and then to
okay.
But I think what's it called is like, I think it's when you see.
Do you know?
Okay. You see, if someone is offended by something, they're offended.
Okay.
It is what it is. As much as it means, because see, people are like, oh, you get offended by some stuff. Because I have said things where I think that's not that bad, but if they feel offended by it, they feel offended by it.
But
just relax. So if people say, "Don't refer to me as that black guy," your response can't be like, "Oh, but you're black. I didn't say the N-word. Oh, but if I said that white guy, no." If a guy says that, "Don't refer to me as that black guy," then she'd be like, okay, oops, I'm sorry. Your response can't be like, but it's not racist. No, but I find it offensive. But it's not offensive. If someone says they're offended, your response can't be, why are you offended? You shouldn't be offended. I'm offended. And that's it. You move on. Because there are a million other things that you can say that aren't offensive.
Give me some seconds. I just want to say something, just quick seconds, right?
Very quickly.
Okay. So, what if an African American or a Spanish person or an Asian or something like that, right, tells you that you look like a monkey, or you look like a chimpanzee, or you look like a gorilla?
Okay,
that's racist. That's racist.
But what's your point?
we don't understand.
My point is, right? This is my point. He's referring to you as in an animal. And you know, back in Africa, they used to.
Wait. Okay, no, Bidiko, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. No, sorry. I'm sorry. Bidiko, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I mean, completely, totally. Oh my, that guy's just. Oh wow.
He's
wow.
off. He's off the whole.
Oh, okay, so sorry. Let me come to Nasa. I'm like, okay, Nasa.
I don't know what Bidiko. Oh my god! Every time he goes on the right track and he just goes off it somehow. I just want to say, I want to add to Marvelous' point because he made a very good point. But the thing is, nobody's attacking Romanians because Romanians have been attacked before. Okay, Romanians are one of the people that are stereotyped as thieves. Whenever they gypsies, antis, whatever, I forgot what it's called, anti-Zionism or something like that. I can't remember. Apologize if I'm wrong. They've been same thing with Jewish people. They've been looked down on as well. Okay, so nobody's attacking Romanians specifically. We're just attacking this person specifically, and nobody's saying every Romanian is racist. BDK, I don't know what he was talking about. Nobody's agreeing with him.
No.
Saying every Spanish person is racist, which is so stupid. I've never heard anyone say that in my life.
There are black Spanish people, by the way.
Yeah, exactly. That live in Spanish countries.
Yeah.
That's what I want to add in this question. Nobody's attacking Romanians. We're just saying this person is being racist and should be and he's an official as well. He's an official.
Yeah.
Says say no to racism in his badge. Okay, let's be honest here.
No,
you should know.
The worst thing is that you're an official. For an official to do that is insane. So before I come to Abdullahi, let me just read some of these things. So from Real Deal, it says that I don't like to judge someone at their lowest moments. He apologized. So did he apologize? Does he speak English, etc.? If it is racist, then a referee saying that is crazy. From what I saw, I don't think he did apologize because you saw a confrontation between Demba Ba and him, and I think he was trying to copy play by saying, "Oh, it's a you were lost in translation. It's a different language," which is a really crappy cop out. So let me just hit some of these other ones, and I'll come to you, Abdullahi. From Idiot Bus Stop. People think players are making a big deal out of this, forgetting how many times African countries have been unfairly kicked out of tournaments. Yeah, I mean, look, as I said again, it's like people saying that, why are you making a big deal? Why are you doing this and doing that? And it just comes out to the key points. If you are offended by something, you have the right to feel offended. And if you're offended by that, then you need to acknowledge that you've offended someone. It's very simple. And the shocking thing that people always want to have this wrong, oh, but why? Because people want the freedom to say whatever the heck they want. And they'll say, oh, you're just being emotional and a snowflake because you want to live in your nice world where you can just say whatever the hell you want to say. Nah, not going to happen. And Laurie, I'm part Latin, and racism is prominent in Spain. I remember over there, people would avoid seating to people of color on the bus. Very sad. Daniel Jones Ortega, member of the channel, long-time user, he's half Spanish. And he tells me that there's serious racism in Spain. And that's from a Spanish guy who says, yes, Spain have a racist problem. Abdullahi, talk to us.
Yeah, can you guys hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you.
Okay. I want to say I'm going to talk about the Paris Saint-Germain and Istanbul, talk about United and talk about Barcelona. But let me go with the PSG one. I listened to what Demba Ba said, and I think what the comment he made was, he was pointing to the fourth official and telling him that this is you can tell a player that you can give a player a yellow card for like maybe for kind of coming to the pitch and just making some force. It's understandable in football, but you cannot call someone black a black guy. And when you call someone a black guy, you get them offended because you know he's gonna respond. Demba Ba wasn't playing the match; he was just standing out. So he was referring to the official. Why would you call me black guy? Why you call him black guy? It was like he said, no, I don't care being a misunderstanding. Why would you call him a black guy? That is not supposed to be done. And I think I'm hearing the news now that if the UEFA doesn't do something, they're gonna forfeit the match tomorrow. They're not gonna play. They're gonna forfeit the match. If the UEFA doesn't do something to either the fourth official or the referee, they will forfeit the match. They're not gonna show up anymore. So even PSG already said this. Both the PSG and the Istanbul said they are not coming up. If the UEFA doesn't take an action about this, no one is playing that match. It's completely over. That is the breaking news I'm hearing now. It's completely over. If they don't show, if the UEFA doesn't come up and have an alternative with what is going on now, no one is showing up. It's completely over. No one is showing up. So this can't go on. Because I remember when I was in college, like I think sorry, permit me to say this. When Donald Trump was elected as the president of the United States of America, there was a comment he made which frustrated everybody in America, including me. It said Muslims are terrorists. That got me angry a lot, massively mad a lot. So I wrote an essay, a 3-page paper to Donald Trump, to the White House, to Washington D.C. to voice my opinion about that. You cannot call Muslim no. Muslim are not terrorists. There are some countries who does that. Iran, Iraq, they does that. Muslim aren't terrorists. You have to be elaborate in what you said for us to understand what you're saying. Then the following one he said he didn't say that. The way he said it was because the reason he said Muslim are terrorists because some people, the Muslim have money and some doesn't have money. And I was angry. I also wrote another letter to him and tell him that no, if Muslims are poor, it doesn't make them racist. It doesn't make them terrorists. No, you can't make that kind of comment in a public way. It doesn't make sense.
So what is the solution then apply like for situations like this, specifically for this situation here? Like, do you think education is going to help?
Education won't help because racism has been here for many, many years now. I think the best thing for them to do is they have to deduct points for any team. If you hear any racist comment, either the team playing, either they are winning or not, is that they should be out of that competition entirely. If it is a player, if it is a referee, if it is anybody, complete out of the tournament. You can't be using that kind of word into another person. That's offensive to them. People doesn't like it. So you cannot be using that kind of comment into people. You don't do that kind of stuff. It doesn't work that way. Remember when people was calling Maruba, they tell him a black monkey or someone like because you can't be saying that publicly. You offended someone. He's getting offended because you're calling him a kind of name. Imagine he has a name. Why did you call him his name? Why are you calling him black? Black this, black that. That's a racist.
Okay.
That's a racist word.
Okay. Let me bring in your boy King Darian and talk to me about this situation, bro.
No, the fact that this is an official or fourth official is just absolutely disrespect. It's just a disgrace to the sport of football. As Abdullahi said, as the guy said earlier, I think what needs to be done, the guy has to be fired. He can't come back to football. You know I'm saying that black guy is offensive. You don't need to be educated. How many times do we have to educate people? Come on, this has been going on since the 80s, before I was born. These campuses are being run. It's not even education. Is it me? Is it HH? Is it I know, right? I can't go on street and call a woman a bitch. Excuse my language. Everyone knows that's offensive to females. So everyone knows saying that black guy or the N-word is offensive. So there's no need now for education. You have Black Lives Matter in the summer. Whether you agree with the movement or not, it happened. And we all know the connotations of that. He has to be fired. And I think go ahead.
So again, I'm going to look at both. So what about people who say like, man, but he's black. He was just referring to me as that black guy because he's black. Why do we have to be so emotional about this? He didn't say the N-word. He wasn't being rude. He just said in his language, black. So to that you say what that? Why should people feel this way?
He said Negru.
I said
Negru means black.
So Darren, to people who say that, man, why are you being so emotional when he just referred to him as black? Because he's black.
No, we have to look at the connotation. In the statement, did he actually say the entire thing in Bulgarian or wherever he's from?
No, he said Negru. He said that Negru. So Demba Ba was angry about it.
Basically, Negru, which is Romanian in black,
Right. So to me, that looks like a backhanded way of you wanting to say the N-word. Because it wasn't the whole phrase was in Romanian or whatever. Because then you could say, to me, it's still an offensive statement. But you can understand, well, hey, he didn't understand English and he said it in Romanian. But the fact you start saying, yo, that Negro, whatever the word is, to me, that's a trying to be a smart way of saying the N-word. And then if you get called up, try to flip it back. So I think he has to be sacked. And again, what you have to call him, that black guy. You said that. It's something for disregarding the person, as if the person is nothing.
It's dismissive.
If he said something like, "Oh, the guy over there," he tried to describe him, and then he said black. To me, that's a gray area. But in fact, you automatically said that black guy. It's almost like
that's the thing. That's just entity over there. It's dismissive. It's dismissive. Right. Okay, let me come to Suleiman, man. Randos of Suleiman.
I think everyone already gave their opinion on this, and mine's basically the same. Like, what's the point of even referring to him as a black guy? Just say, like, his last name is on his shirt number. I mean, yeah, just refer to him as that. What's the point? And yeah, he should be fired because he was obviously. If the guy's offended by it, then why even say it? You know.
Okay.
Yeah.
So guys,
Hey, I'd just like to say something. This is in regards to people, and this is something I've noticed. People take two ends. They're too liberal, they're too leftist, they're too emotional. But let's do a breakdown of the people in the comments. Supposedly they're extremely logical. Now, you're logical, correct? We know that every official is trained to speak English. We know the rule states that the referee, there's no official language, no referee, unless they're in Romania, shouldn't be speaking Romanian. Now, why would he speak Romanian? And in particular, why was the instance where he spoke Romanian? Why was it for that word? Since you're so logical, we know that he's trained in English. We know that he should be speaking English.
Enough for you.
and then let's add something else. Anybody that partakes in international business, you know that when you go to different countries, there's certain words that you shouldn't use. We know that for big businesses, the international language around the world is English. That's how UEFA is as well. So that's another point. There's companies that change their whole brand name in countries like the Middle East in order to not offend people. This is standard business procedure. And the third point is, forget about how we feel, forget about how anybody feels. When you work in an environment, the governing body, their duty is to make sure that you feel happy in that environment. There should be no need for you to get abused. That goes for any player. So why is it that in UEFA, in their particular competition, somebody's getting abused in a language he doesn't understand, where he shouldn't be speaking anyway? See, that's the thing. That's the thing people forget. Forget about race, forget about color. Every individual deserves to feel comfortable in their working environment, in every business.
No. I think the key points you make is actually very key points, which is the fact of the matter is that you are unofficial, and the general neutral language is English. Now, obviously, let's say you're Italian and there's an Italian player. Okay, I can speak Italian. You're a Spanish player, there's a Spanish player, Spanish. But if you're referring to a Dutch or a guy from Ghana or from South Korea, English is just sort of like the common denominator where at least people know at least 4 or 5 basic phrases of English. And the key of the matter is that why was there ever an instance as an official that are using the word Negru, which means black in Romanian? Why would you use that word as an official when you know that the general thing is English? And I think that is where that issue lies. And the key thing of the matter is that if you people, it's either we don't be realistic or not realistic. Once ahead of the guy was from Romania, and I know about Eastern Europe, again, as being clear, which is what Nata said, this is not an attack on Romanians or people. This is just being real. And if we're not real, nothing will change. If we keep living in a bubble like, oh, no, stop complaining, blah, blah, then nothing will change. But I live in the world of facts and reality. And the reality of the matter is that Eastern Europe, because they don't have many black people, and because they don't have a lot of exposure to black people, they have a very stereotypical view of black people. See, from our structure, it's logic. If you're in a society that you mix with a lot of people and so forth, you will get to know them and really know more about them rather than the stereotypical nature that society has now denoted to you. When I went to Japan, a bunch of kids came running towards me because it was the first time they'd ever seen a black guy in their life before. So it was like, oh, geez, black guy. So in Romania and places like that, whether it's Lithuania, there hardly any black guys there. And even speaking to my Lithuanian friend, he said, yeah, if you come to Lithuania, you may get some stares and some racist things because guys don't have exposure to black people. So it's two things. It's the lack of exposure to black people and it's how black people are presented and the stereotypes that people have of black people. That is why a guy can use the phrase, that's black guy, because the general stereotype of black people is that they are at the bottom of the pyramid and you're just supposed to feel dismissive towards them because they're the lowest of the low.
I agree with you, but I just want to ask, or not ask, or say, like, even though what you're saying is true, America, they're still one of the most racist countries, even though they do have a lot of exposure to black people, they're still very racist. So even though I agree that Eastern Europe and maybe those parts have a lot of racism, I don't think you can say that they're the most racist countries, because if you look in America, there's a lot of racist.
It's more outlandish because you're alone now. You're alone. That's the thing.
No, because I'm never. Look, there's racism everywhere. Like you go to the south of America, racist. England, where I live, go to the countryside in England. Oh my gosh, you'll see racism in the countryside in England. You go to places in France, Spain, Italy. So I'm not saying Eastern Europe is just more racist, but the kind of racism Eastern Europe have is different because see, in the South in America, they have proximity to black people and so forth. So the racism is more aggressive and out there. But the racism in Eastern Europe, because they have no kind of contact with the black people, they have a very stereotypical view of what black people are like. Whereas it's different from, like, let's say, in Africa, in Arabic countries, or places in Western Europe where black people are sort of embedded into the country. So from Wally Gunner says that Ref does not know the name. Black is a word of aeons. I think he says Negru is black, N-word only 200 years old based on foreign spelling. The next to the three white men. Yeah, mates, to paraphrase this, you still can't refer to him as black. Either say it's that guy here, refer to him, points to him, saying that black guy doesn't work. So guys, to round this off, because the third hour, let's just look ahead.
Well, I thought about United a little bit, before you round off.
Oh Lord. Okay, talk.
Oh God.
Okay, wait. Let's just do tomorrow's games first, and then you can talk about United. So,